Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. I'm Blooming Umoren, your trusted money coach, and today I'm going to be guiding you through how to get started fairly quickly with investing in both the crypto and the stock market. The goal of this conversation today is to literally make sure that I break this down in such an easy concept for you to understand and to make this as interactive as possible. Today, we're going to be starting off first with how to invest in the stock market before we then delve into how to invest in crypto. Then open up the floor for Q&A, okay? But before we get started, for the benefit of those that don't know who I am, my full name, Blooming Umoren. Most people just call me Blooming, my trusted money coach. My first degree, economics and accounting from Illinois Wesleyan University in the US. And I also have an MBA from the University of British Columbia here in Canada. I came to Canada on a full ride scholarship from the Mastercard Foundation. I love to talk about money, crypto, and stock market investing. I'm a Nigerian, and I'm also Canadian. I'm a purebred Nigerian woman, so I'm also a Canadian citizen, but that's all that you need to know about me for today. So let's jump into why we're here today. I hope you all have your writing materials because we're going to learn a lot from this conversation today. And if you want to bring tea, coffee, water, whatever tickles your fantasy, please go ahead and do that. But no ogogoro, no palm wine, no vodka, just water, tea, coffee. That's all that we need for today's conversation. I usually like to start out with just explaining just a typical Nigerian hustle, right? I'm sure that many of us, when we were growing up, we had go to school, work hard, and the money will flow, right? But you and I know that adulting in Nigeria can be full of a lot of problems, a lot of wahala. So, but today we're going to be talking about how exactly can we make our money work for us. And that's literally why we're here today. To be honest with you, the secret to making your money work for you, it's not really about working harder. And this has been an epiphany for me for the past 4 or 5 years, just learning that it's not really a function of how hard you work, but how smart you work and how can you even make your own money work for you. A lot of people go to the extent of making their own money work for other people by delegating their money to somebody else. I don't do that. I rather teach you how to make your money work for you. And again, the emphasis is on learning. Again, I'm going to emphasize that to know how to make your money work for you, you need to learn. And that's why you're here today. Because if you don't learn, as I always say, that money is a game, and those that understand how to play this game will just win in big time. So what we're going to be talking about today is really about how to make our money work for us. And the simplest way to make your money work for you is by investing. Again, the simplest way to make your money work for you is simply by investing. And there are two vehicles for that. Number one is the stock market, and number two is crypto. And as I said before, investing is just a way to make your own money for you. It sounds very simple, but I'm telling you that the moment you understand this fact that if you are not investing, you're going to keep working till you drop dead, right? Because this is one of the ways that this is what we do to compound our wealth faster over time. So you might ask, what exactly is a stock market? Okay, so I'm going to break this down in something very, very easy. Just see the stock market as a marketplace. What is a marketplace? Just think of Oshodi, Yaba. I'm trying to remember any other popular market in Nigeria. Just think of it as a place that you can buy and sell a product. But here we're not buying suya, we're not buying watermelon, we're not buying orange, we're not buying pawpaw, we're not buying shoes. We're buying companies. And when we say that we're buying companies, we typically refer to these things as shares. When you buy a teeny tiny portion of a company, that portion of ownership is what is called shares. And at the same time, when you say shares, you can also refer to them as stocks, meaning that shares equals to stock. So, for example, if I say that I'm a shareholder or I'm a stockholder, it literally means the same thing, meaning that I am part owner of this company. Okay. Again, the stock market is just a marketplace to buy and sell, just the same way that you'll go to Oshodi market and you can buy anything or you can sell anything. The same thing happens in the stock market, but this is just online. Okay. It's not a physical store that you go and buy stocks. No, everything is transacted online. Okay. But I also like to give the analogy of what exactly do I mean when I say that I'm buying shares in a company? Just look at the orange fruit and imagine that that is a company. Okay. And as a shareholder, you can buy pieces of this. Maybe you can buy half, you can buy a quarter. And sometimes this company can be divided into maybe 1 million shares, 2 million shares, 1 million shares. So as an individual, you can buy one, you can buy two, you can buy 10, you can buy 10,000. It doesn't really matter. But the moment you buy one share of a company, automatically you become a shareholder. Again, the easiest way or the smartest way to build wealth over time is to invest in the stock market by buying quality companies, which we're going to discuss later in this conversation. Okay? Anytime you invest in a company, you are literally planting a seed. Okay? Anytime you invest in a company, you're literally planting a seed. And what do I mean? When you invest in a company, you're technically investing your money into this company with the hope that when you invest in this company, the company is going to do well and your investment is going to grow over time. And I like to use a simple analogy. You planted some seed. Over time, that seed is going to germinate and it's going to yield this orange fruits. And as the company gets bigger, as the company does well, your investment that you bought, which is just a fraction of the company, also does well. But the caveat is if the company is not doing well, your stocks or your portfolio too is not going to do well. And that is where it's important to understand the type of company that you need to invest in before actually investing in the company. So a lot of people, when they want to make their money work for them, I like to use simple analogies. So yeah, a lot of people, when they want to grow their money, they just put it in the bank. They say, oh, I fixed my money, fixed deposit. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be blunt with you. That is not the best way to build wealth over time. If you put your money in the bank, fixed deposit, you're getting some interest at the end of the year or at the end of the month. There is no way you can build wealth like that because of different factors like inflation and devaluation. Again, you don't need to understand all of these terminologies yet. I'm just trying to say that I like to use the example of suya, that let's say now you want to say, oh, I want to grow my suya or I want to have more suya. And you literally go and put the suya in the fridge, thinking that, oh, in the next 1 year, my suya will be very good. No, your suya is going to get spoiled within a few days. The same thing is anytime you go and put your money in the bank as a fixed deposit, it's going to get bad over time. Because why? Of inflation and also because of devaluation of a currency called Naira or any currency in general. Again, I want to really emphasize that saving is not the same thing as investing. I like to always say that poor people save and rich people, we just invest. Again, saving is not the same thing as investing. Investing is when you put your money to work by investing in the stock market or investing in crypto. Okay. So the question is, why should you invest? The reason why you came here is for you to learn how to make your money work for you, right? And one of the methods or one of the avenues to do this is by investing in the stock market. Okay. We invest for growth. The main reason why we invest in the stock market is because of growth. Maybe you want to spend more time with your family, you want to go for vacation, you want to buy your dream house. Ultimately, the main reason why we invest is for us to create wealth. And at some point, we want to have the financial freedom to be able to do whatever we want to do. You might have the goal to save for your kids' education, again, for vacation or retirement, whatever your goal is. The goal is for you to at least create wealth in whatever shape or form that you deem necessary. And investing is literally the most important way for you to build this wealth. Now I might get a question, Blooming. So invest, though, I've lost money before. Get it? Blooming, anybody, I get it. Or you might say, this investing thing is too hard. I get it. Or you might say, oh, Blooming, in 1972, I invested and this man scammed me. I get it. Okay? There will always be all of these fears and misconception. But I'm here to tell you that, yes, you might be afraid that you can lose your money. But over time, if you diversify your investment, you think long term, and you invest in quality products or quality companies, you're going to do well over the long period of time. The second thing, if you say, oh, I don't have enough money, you can start with any amount. Any amount. Don't feel like you have to have $1 million. No, you can start with any amount. If you have 100 naira, 200, 1,000, $100 million. You can start with any amount just in the market. Again, you don't have to have a lot of money. And investing, a lot of people think that it's hard, it's complicated, But that's why you need a mentor. You need somebody to coach you and just show you that, hey, this is how to invest in the market. This thing is not complicated. And the same thing, oh, I've lost a lot of money, my dear. I always tell people that never delegate investing to somebody else. It's stupid. Because nobody, I'm going to always say, nobody can care for your money like you are going to. I'm going to say that again. The moment you start giving somebody else your money to invest for you, you literally lose the control. You lose your power. What really makes a difference is the knowledge you have. The moment you understand how to play the money game, my dear, nobody can just come and scam you because, again, you know it. And I always tell people that I don't invest for people. No, I only teach you. Just the same way that if I were to say, oh, what is 2 plus 2? You don't run back to your primary school teacher and say, oh, Mr. This, what is 2 plus 2? Your teacher has already groomed you and taught you how to do additions. The same thing with investing. If you can operate a smartphone, if you can go on social media, if you can send money from A to B yourself, you're smart enough to learn how to invest in the market. And that is where I come into this position to just teach you how to play this money game. So how do we get started? I've just simplified this, okay? This is just in 3 simple steps. Obviously, there are more steps to this, but just to make sure that you get the basics. And if you want to take the conversation further, we can always have that. The first step is to open a brokerage account. Number 2, you need to choose the right set of investment. And number 3, you need to invest consistently. Now you might be like, oh my goodness, what is a brokerage account? I get it. Just think a brokerage account is just like you opening an account, a bank account. And instead of you saving your money in the bank in this brokerage account, you're literally using it to buy stocks. Okay. Remember, when you invest in a company, you're buying a portion of that company. And when the company does well, your investment grows over time. And if the company doesn't do well, my dear, your portfolio too will not do well. But historically, there are companies that you know that if you invest in them over a long period of time, you're going to be good. So in Nigeria, we have the different ones. We have Bamboo, we have Chaka, we have Piggyvest, we have Trove. Talking about saving. Again, don't put your money into these places and save it. It's stupid. You need to use it to buy stocks because that is how your wealth is going to compound over time. In as much as I'm mentioning all of this platform, I have to put out a disclaimer that I am not in any shape or form associated with any of these platforms. I'm just giving you an example of the places that you can open a brokerage account if you are in Nigeria. The other thing that you need to pay attention to is how do you choose the right investment? How? And I always like to say that start with the blue chip. What do I mean by blue chip companies? Stable companies. We have Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, or Facebook. There's so many of them, but this is just an example, meaning that they have an historical record of performing well in the market over a long period of time. So these are just some examples. Example, if you're not into maybe individual stocks, you can buy an ETF, which is just a basket of good. There are examples, the S&P 500, you can invest in them. Again, the moment you put your money into this, and apart from that, there are different sectors. We have the technology ETF, financial ETF, there are different types of ETFs that you can just put your money and let your money work for you over time. So again, in as much as I'm mentioning all of these companies, it doesn't mean that I am recommending any of them. And the third thing that I also want to mention is that for investing to really work for you, you need to start wherever you are. Don't wait until you have $1 million or a million naira or whatever your currency is. If you have 10,000 naira, start. If you have 100,000 naira, start. The goal is for you to start with how much you have, and then over time, you can build and compound your wealth over time. The reason why I say that is that a lot of people want to have 1 million naira, 10 million naira, but they've not learned how to even manage 10,000 naira or even grow 10,000 naira. Again, the goal is for you to invest consistently every month, at least. Number 2, I also like to say that don't focus on the short-term prices because, again, prices can change within maybe a day, within a month, but over a period of time, let's say 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you're going to do well in the market. Okay. And the other thing that I also like to emphasize is that never invest in what you don't understand. A lot of people would just say, oh, Blooming, I just saw this thing and I put my money. I'm like, okay, what exactly are you investing in? They have no idea. They are clueless. So it's important to exactly know what you're investing in, because if you don't, and some something changes fundamentally about the company, I'm telling you, you're going to lose your money. Okay. So it's important to know what you're investing in before you then invest. I always like to say that investing is so powerful that if you just start doing it, and the moment you start seeing your capital appreciate over time, it changes something psychologically about you. I don't recommend investing in the Nigerian market. That's me personally. I always recommend just investing in the American market. Why? That's the big leagues. The US market is literally the biggest market financially. In the financial world, that's where everything is happening. Don't invest in Nigeria. Don't invest in Europe. Don't invest in the Asian market. No, we don't. We don't need that. I'm telling you from experience, the US market is one of the best markets that you can invest in. And if you're in Nigeria, you can participate in this. I mentioned different platforms, Bamboo, Chaka, Piggyvest. You can always buy American stocks on this platform. Okay. So one of the things that I also want to just show you historically, for people that have been investing in the market, we all know of Apple, right? Apple, the iPhone, iPod, iPad, everything. I'm showing you this chart, which is something that you can also pull. Just 5 years ago, one share of Apple was less than $70. As of when I did the recording for this, December 18th this year, one share of Apple is $248, meaning that I just invested $70 and I waited 5 years. This $70 is now $248. Mind me, if I'm saying dollars and naira, it's literally the same application, okay? Meaning that you just invest and let this thing just sit for 5 years. The longer you stay invested, the more your money is going to compound over time. This is just an example. And you can buy this, you can buy Apple. Again, this is just a simple way to make your money work for you. Another example is Amazon. You know of Amazon, right? It's just similar to Jumia. Again, 5 years ago, it was less than $90. Today, as of December 18, when I took the screenshot, it's already $220, meaning just buy and leave the thing. Again, it sounds very simple, but the moment you understand how game-changing this is, that I just need to put my money here and wait, maybe 5 years, 7 years, and come back to it, and I know that I will be in a better position financially. Again, this is how we, the rich, play the game. The same thing for Facebook. Facebook 2019, 5 years ago, was 206. As of when I took the screenshot, $597. Again, this is just you buying and you don't have to do the physical work. The company does the work and you just watch your portfolio grow. The same thing for Tesla. Tesla 5 years ago was $27. Today, as of when I did the screenshot, for $40. Again, I can go on and on and on and on about this, but this is literally the secret to how we just keep getting richer over time. And I'm telling you that anyone can participate in this. Whether you're in Nigeria, in Ghana, you're in Australia, you're in Canada, you're in the US, globally, this is a market that you can participate in, whether you're educated or not. You're short, you're long, doesn't matter. You can participate in the stock market. Now, for those of you that might be interested in me coaching you, maybe one-on-one, you're like, oh, I want to learn more about this thing, Blooming. I want you to teach me. Oh, because one of the things that I do, the way that I simplify concept about investing, even if you don't have finance background or investing background, the goal is for me to explain it in a way that you can just understand. Again, if you allow me to coach you, access to my club, meaning that tips on what's going on in the market. Oh, this is what I'm buying. This is who I'm watching. This is what I say you should invest in. These are tips that you also get. The other thing, insight, because again, navigating both the stock and crypto market needs a lot of knowledge. And that, again, I always like to emphasize that please, please, please learn before you start investing. And again, if you want to be part of this club, this is not for everybody. I'm going to be honest with you. My price, $2,000. Again, it's not for everybody. But for some of you that might be like, oh, Blooming, we don't have that amount of money. Okay, we can still have a group coaching. And again, this is just $100 per participant per course. But the only caveat to this, yes, we're going to learn about the stock market, about crypto, about whatever that you need to do to get started. Literally me babysitting you to show you how to invest, and you literally invest in my presence. That's literally if you want to be part of that. But the only caveat to this is that there has to be a minimum of 30 people in the cohort, meaning that in the group, and the price of this again is just $100. I'm going to open up the floor now for Q&A.
Thank you, Coach. There was a question. The question was from Bankole Janet. How does one open a brokerage account?
When you talk about how does one open a brokerage account, so I want to assume that that is for stocks, okay? And I did mention an example like Bamboo. Again, there's a disclaimer that I'm not affiliated in any shape or form to this, but it's literally you downloading the app, just the basic way that you open, let's say you want to open a Facebook account, right? This is just an example. Usually you go on your Google Store, App Store, and you download it. Then you put in your information, your first name, your last name, your BVN, your date of birth, things like that. But it's literally intuitive in the sense that you can just download it on Google Play Store or on your App Store if you're using an iPhone. So that's just the simplest way to just open a brokerage account. Okay, Daniel, go ahead.
So my question is, you mentioned being consistent.
Yes.
If you choose to invest monthly or quarterly,
yes.
anyone. So my question is, if I choose a stock,
yes.
Let's say Tesla, for instance,
yes.
And I want to be doing it monthly.
Yes.
You know, the money I'm going to have, I'm going to be investing monthly. It's not going to be up to the amount required for one share. Maybe what I have is not up to what is required for one share.
Yes.
I don't know if you get my point.
I totally get it.
If I put what I have, so the following month, if I invest again the following month, is it going to be added to what I already have?
Yes.
Or is another fresh thing entirely?
Yes. So that's a very fantastic question. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to send you my free guide on stock market investing. And I'm going to send this to everybody. So for people in Nigeria, you don't have to, even not just Nigeria, here in Canada or anywhere in the world, we have the option of buying fractional shares, meaning that let's say the price of Tesla is $420, but you only have $50, right?
Yeah.
Just using that.
Yes.
You buy today,
something like
right?
That.
Yes. The moment you buy, the next month again, you come in, you buy again, it's going to be added. Okay. And this is a concept that we call dollar cost averaging. Okay? It's going to be added to whatever you bought the previous month. And I'm telling you that it's one of the best ways to just invest over time, meaning that just do it consistently. Not that you do it today, then the next month you sleep off, then 5 months later you come. No. You need to do it consistently because that is how you build wealth over time. Okay? Yeah. Did that answer your question, Daniel?
Yes, thank you.
With your permission, if I can add on that.
Yes.
Another way is to also maybe consider ETFs that have exposure to Tesla. For example, there are quite a number of them, so that might have maybe 5% exposure to Tesla, but then it will have other stocks or other securities. And then ETF, basically like what Coach Blooming explained, is you're just having a bunch of shares that are selected by a fund manager to replicate an index. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Can I add to that?
Yes, Stanley. So
when we talk about consistency too, it's all about you, right? It's all about you trying to make sure that you are consistent in whatever you are doing. Meaning, you can instruct your bank, okay? At least to say, most of the bank apps today, you can say you want to be investing 5% from your fund to Tesla every month, right? So maybe the salary you are getting is 100,000, and then maybe you are doing 5% of it, which is 5,000 naira, right? So every month, that 5,000 naira goes to that particular purchase of that. In that case, you don't need to stress yourself in terms of whether you have a lot of money or not. For example, if you have a Bamboo account, for example, that instruction can be added there. When you add such, it means that every month you continue to buy for you 5%, right? And within time, you see your money compounding, so to say. Like the boss said here, dollar cost average, it will be adding up accordingly.
Thank you, Ezekiel. Sarabo, did you
Okay,
have a
good morning.
question? Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning
Yeah, go ahead with your question.
from Nigeria. I really want to appreciate you first for the introduction towards the stock market class and that of the crypto class. I enjoyed this for a while now. But I usually want to ask a question like this. What is the right time to buy company stock
Mm-hmm.
and how do you calculate the dividend to allow us to profit from this?
Okay, the question is, how do we know when to buy the stock of a company? And also, how do we calculate the dividend? Okay. So the first question, how do you know when to buy the stock of a company? Some of the things that I usually do is, number one, is the company undervalued at this point in time? Undervalued, for example, let's say we are in a bear market. I like to buy then because I know that the market will eventually recover. But if I don't use that metric, the way that I know when to invest in a company, number one, I have to do research on the company. Research in the sense that, what does this company even sell? What services do they offer? Do I understand the leadership? Do I understand the moats? If this company is going to be here in the next 5 to 10 or 20 years. Once I've done all of those homework, then I just buy. I don't wait for a perfect time because why? There's never going to be a perfect time to get into a company, a great company. If you know that this is a fantastic company, you don't have a position yet, meaning you've not bought the stock yet. And you know that this is a company that you want to invest in for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, I just buy. That's my own personal strategy. In terms of calculating the dividend, there's so many websites that you can just go on. For example, stock analysis, plug in the name of the company, you will just see the annual dividend. But I'm telling you that if you're just starting out, dividend is a small game. I'm being honest. Dividend works when you have quantity working in your favor. Because if you think of the annual dividend that most companies will give, it'll be $2, $3 per share. $2, $3, $5 is not life-changing. But when you, for example, I showed you the example of Tesla, or even any company, just give me the name of any company that you like. I will just pull a chart for you. So Ezekiel or Sarah, but just give me the name of any company that you like.
Okay, let's see. Amazon.
Okay, good. That's fantastic. So I'm going to go on Amazon now. So just 1 second. Ezekiel?
Yes, I'm able to see the screen. I'm seeing the kind of analysis of Amazon.
Okay, good. Fantastic. So, for example, you said dividend, right? For Amazon, for example, does not pay dividend. 0. Okay. But if you look at the performance of Amazon, again, I don't look at the 1 day, the 5 day, the 1 month, the 6 month. I don't care about all of this. 1 year, I don't care. 5 years, because I am a long-term investor and that is how I make money. Again, if you bought Amazon 5 years ago, $89, just buy it and leave it. Buy. Again, just buy and leave the thing for at least 5 years and come back. It's gonna be higher than $89. We can even go further. Let's say you started it like just
that's like compounding comes in.
exactly. It's better your capital grow through capital gain, through capital appreciation than just dividend. Dividend is just for, I'm telling you, if you're just starting on it, I would not focus on the dividend. It's so small. You're gonna do better if your wealth
Perfect.
can appreciate faster. And that I tend to focus more on capital gains, capital appreciation, because that's how your wealth is going to compound. Maybe once you amass so much wealth, then and you have a lot of quantity in terms of stocks. Once you have that, maybe you have 10,000, 20,000 shares, and then you're getting annual dividend of $2 or $5, and you multiply by that 10,000, that's big money. But how do you amount that 10,000 quantity in shares? It's a wow. So that's why if you're just starting out, you're better off with capital appreciation than just dividend. But that's my own perspective. Any other questions?
Yeah. How do I key into the one you talk about, the $100 and you for the other time?
The one that I said for $100, I need at least 30 people. So I'm not going to be coaching one person for $100. It's not worth my time. I'm being blunt with you.
What I'm saying is, SS is what is the plan for it? Like, do you have a plan for it, or we just have to group ourselves and come to you, or how do you want it?
If you have a group of people, fine. But if you're interested in that, you can send me an email that, hey, you want to be part of this. But I'm not going to commit to it until I make sure that I have at least 30 people. And that's just my own personal criteria. So if you're interested in joining, like, hey, Blooming, I want to learn more about this, you can signify your interest. But I'm just saying that, hey, if we don't reach the quota for 30, I'm being honest that I can't commit my time to that, given that I know that for me to coach people, this is how much I usually charge. But even in this 2024 is already $2,000. From 2025 is already 5x. I'm telling you, if you go on my website 2025, the rate you're going to be seeing there is $10,000. So I'm just telling you that, yeah, if you want to be part of this, you can send me an email. But I'm also telling you that if we don't reach that 30 quarter, I cannot commit to that.
Please, can I chip in the last question, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, on the last question, I've been following you for a while now, and I understand you have some courses actually. So I
Yes.
don't know if there's an affiliate for any of your courses, for some of us that are into, social media marketing, maybe before, if you can chip into the opportunity and explore.
Yes. So again, I would say that you should please send me an email and also book a free 30-minute session on my website so that we can structure that out. I don't want to be discussing the nuances of affiliate marketing and what you're going to be getting and the commission and things like that. But again, I would like to work with you and see how we can structure something out. The easiest way to do this would be to send me an email and also to just book a free 30-minute session on my website, and we'll be able to have the conversation. Okay?
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Abiola. So thank you everyone for joining to this session. If you have any question, you can always reach out to me. I'm Blooming Umoren, your trusted money coach, and I really thank you for joining today's webinar. And I'll see you later. And if you're not following me yet on Facebook, make sure you go follow me because you're going to be getting more update every day. So have a good day and enjoy the rest of your Saturday, everyone. Bye-bye.